First and foremost is the data set collection. The second, that they can ensure the non-biasness is by making culture in their team that they have people from different cultures, and different people can ensure that the model is organized.
Before penetrating into any market, it is necessary. This is something that we follow. That, for example, if we are going to apply or deploy our product in a hospital or to a certain niche, like for X-ray or for CT scan, what we do that we say that it has 96% accuracy, it has 97% accuracy. The trend that we saw is that there was biasness in Pakistani data set when it entered in the market, when it was deployed there, when it was tested on that. The same model, the same thing that won the grand challenge, that stood second in the grand challenge, we were very confident about that. It failed. It failed very badly. It gave only 50 to 60% accuracy. So the thing that we do is basically that we take a chunk of data set from that specific region. Even the data sets are varying in like Islamabad and Karachi. They are going to be a bit different. So what we do when we enter a certain market, we take different sample data sets. We get them annotated from that particular region, that how you want this AI to be, and then we fine tune our models. This is the best thing about AI, that it can be fine tuned to any environment, and once fine tuned, then we consider it safe to be deployed and to be considered as a product. Before that, we call it like pilot testing and minimum viable product. So this is how we remove biasness in medical field. Thank you.
So I think this is a very interesting one because um, if you're an AI practitioner and if you're working in AI, I think it's very difficult to make AI unbiased. Like you cannot achieve 100% efficiency in that because AI learns from the data, and in an ideal world, you would be able to collect a data that is totally normalized. But in practical scenario, you will always end up in scenarios where the data is a bit biased. So I will give you an example from our own startup. So basically, as I explained before, we track people, their age, their gender, their movements, and we started working with Pakistan. So all the data that we collected to train our AI was from Pakistan, and we have unique culture, the way we dress and all these things. So that AI was working really, really good for Pakistan market. But recently, when we expanded to Middle East and North America, the same AI was not working there because now they have different culture. If you go to Middle East, they are wearing different culture, and there is a lot of diversity in North America. So I think what we expect from AI that it should be able to produce accurate results. Accuracy is very important. So I think there is a trade-off between being focused and being unbiased. So what we did was, so we had a focused AI that was focusing on Pakistan industry. Then we created a focused AI that was working in Middle East. Then we created a focused AI that was working in North America. But obviously, for a startup to scale, we cannot just keep doing it. Like for every new country or region, we would not do that. So that's where we have to get that generalized data. So I think, as you explained, so we collected a lot of data from a lot of regions, countries. We merged that data, and we made sure that the data is not biased. So we have the right amount of data depicting a culture, a race, color, everything. So once we had enough data, we trained it, and now our AI works seamlessly. It's unbiased and it's able to produce very accurate results. But again, to ensure better performance, better accuracy, we still believe in focused AI because at the end of the day, it's about the problem that we're trying to solve. But the best way to create unbiased AI to have generic data set that covers almost all the scenarios, which is practically very, very difficult. But I think it's the pursuit to do that, and maybe you can achieve close to 100% efficiency in that.
Thank you. Would you like to add something?
I think to fully remove the bias in AI algorithm is an incredibly hard problem. Even Like even with the companies like Microsoft, when their quick results in Bing, for example, and now they're doing integration of ChatGPT with Bing, what the AI models are actually doing, they're reading a lot of content from the internet and then they're sort of trying to summarize it. Uh, uh, Even with other AI paradigms like vision, speech, one of the bias comes from training data, and here the practices are very standard that companies can place quality assurance teams to analyze data appropriately. But when we go to the deployment of these systems, a lot of bias comes from the real time additional data that comes to the system, a lot of new scenarios in which we cannot fully anticipate how the AI is going to work, but now how the companies are formalizing new platforms to remove these biases. One is through reinforcement learning, that in ChatGPT they have an interface when you thumbs up or thumbs down, the feedback goes back to the system, and then with reinforcement learning the system is updated, and then it mitigates that bias. And a lot of that is happening since the model is released, and people are incorporating it in a lot of other algorithms. This is one thing, but other area is through explainable AI, and how you can dissect the algorithm and the neural networks in a detailed mathematical format that you can analyze its behavior on biased and non-biased data sets.
Thank you so much. And speaking of that, what do you think are some ethical considerations that startups should keep in mind when developing and deploying AI technology? And how does that basically allow them to balance, how can they balance that in the pursuit of profit and growth? So, should I start?
So, in my experience, the first and foremost would be the data privacy. We have seen a lot of issues by the big corporations where they are using our data and collecting a lot of data that necessarily they don't require, but they are collecting anyway to make their data. They obviously got huge profits, but it was on the cost of privacy. So that's something that startups should need to worry about or should keep in mind while developing their solutions, that they should not breach any data privacy laws. This is first an ethical violation, and then there are laws against that, so you can lose everything. Like Google was called and Microsoft also. So yeah, data privacy will be the thing that.
So whenever we receive any kind of data set from different kind of hospitals, there is a thing that sometimes they are unable to anonymize it because of their technology. So what we do at our company, that we make sure that the original copies are destroyed and the data is anonymized in-house. And we have a PC that is not even connected to the internet, so we make sure that the data does not have any breach or leak. We just delete every data. We just keep the things that are important to us, like age, gender, and the X-rays or the scans themselves. And we have seen this, we have learned this from the patterns that are followed outside Pakistan. We got different data sets from USA, UK, and there were many open source data sets that were freely available, and they had these similar like ethical values. The only things that are needed by you should be there. And then there is a thing that the government is building this AI policy. I hope that it will be incorporated by now. So what they are doing is that they're making sure that once these things are built, then these things are tested that they are actually not ethically violating any laws. They're not leaking and breaching the privacies. So once the algorithms and everything is assessed, that the data sets are assessed, everything is assessed, the data sets collected on papers to train a model, I would say that is trained in NLP, the textual data, that should be anonymized and the original identities of people, patient is not there. So basically, it's a thing that is now happening in Pakistan as well, like other countries.
can be categorized into the purpose of AI and the way that purpose is achieved. I think the ethics comes in both of these segments. So first of all, as you all know, AI is a very powerful tool, and I think with great power comes great responsibility. So what is the purpose of your AI? AI has solved a lot of problems. It is benefit the world greatly, but at the same time, the purpose should be to solve the problems, to help the people. It's very important because at the same time, you can create an AI that can create a lot of harm. You can create an AI, for example, that can. If we talk about self-driving cars, so basically you can create an AI that can uh, cause a lot of accidents too, because that's an AI. So the ethics starts from the purpose, I believe. And then when we narrow it down, the way that purpose is achieved, I think first thing first, it's about the privacy. So, because AI, the way fundamentally it works with the data. So, which data you are using, and I think the ethics also covers a lot of different domains there. Like, are you using the data that you can use, even if it's open source? Are you respecting the licenses? Are you complying with the legal laws? For example, in terms of like even our own product, we work with cameras, obviously, we track people, but are we storing their faces? And I will give you an example. So basically, there is a very famous use case that every customer wants, which is returning customer use case. And we realize that to build that use case, we'll have to store some information about the users. Now, we all know we can store the information in terms of different forms and weddings and all that. But if you go to Europe, you are not allowed to do that. So basically, we had a lot of demand for this particular use case, and we could not do it because it was violating the laws. So sometimes, more than profits, you have to respect the laws. You have to respect the privacy of people, and that's where the way you achieve the purpose of doing good. That's where I think the ethic comes in, and then also broadly, I believe if you're if you're trying to solve the right problem, there are always, so AI does give you enough room to solve that problem while being ethical. And I think most of the startups or companies that are working on AI, I think fundamentally they are very, very ethical. But if you just explore and look at every year, I think there are a lot of startups who claim to use AI but they are not using AI. I think that is very unethical on its own. But there are companies who are claiming that they are not using your private data to give you suggestions, recommendations, and there have been many scandals with Facebook and all these things. So I think it's the job of the team and whoever is leading that vision to make sure that that company who has this ability to use AI, which is a very powerful tool, to use it for the right purpose and in the right way.
Thank you, sir.
I guess one of the important things in regulating AI is to have some sort of frameworks and to use it ethically. Uh, so we need to follow frameworks like GDPR. GDPR in Europe is playing one of the important roles in data protection and data privacy type things. So such type of frameworks need to be adopted globally. And if the nature of the application is like real-world surveillance and your solutions are deployed onto the cameras where clear privacy concerns are covered, you actually have to process it on the device itself rather than sending it to the cloud. Because if you're getting packets and sending them over the network, there are always going to be a rule that those are actually intercepted. So having strong regulatory frameworks and usage of edge devices, I think, are quite important in ensuring data privacy and data protection.
Thank you so much. And the next question is actually very interesting for me as well because I've been working on the hiring team at VROC for about a year and a half now. And I want to ask you guys, so what do you think? What kind of talent and expertise do startups require to develop and implement AI technology? And how can startups retain and attract these young professionals?
I will start with the global market. Globally, or the standards are that you have data engineers, then you have data scientists. The next part is the machine learning engineering part, where they engineer the product, and then there is the ops part. So these are the four main areas that we require talent for. And talking about the local market, we basically make use of machine learning engineers. Those are machine learning engineers do the data processing, data engineering part. They also create models and they also engineer the complete product. But for me, and in my experience, the most important part will be the ML ops part, where we need to deploy a solution that we have created. So we have faced a lot of difficulties in that part, and in Pakistan, a lot of research and our educational institutes are focused on the modeling part, but no one is producing talent for the ops part. So that's where we are facing difficulties. How to retain the talent? It's a standard for, I guess, will be every startup to work on the cutting edge technology, and providing them benefits is a must have.
So basically, I'll talk something out with my experience. Basically, as I told you about my story, that how we started, that was a naive idea and it was a mere motivation that started this thing. So basically, we put in our own money to like keep this thing running. So basically, we were limited on resources and everything. So what we did, that it was very hard for us to hire an expensive resource because AI resources are one of the most expensive resources that are there in the market. And at the time that we started, there were very limited resources of AI. They were actually working abroad. So basically, what we did, we partnered with a lab in Fast National University, Islamabad. The lab is run by Dr. Hamad Naveed. He's actually the director of Fast Lamar now. So basically, we partnered with him, and what he did was that he actually gave the consultancy to our team. This actually increased their expertise, not just to a few months experience, but to the experience of many years. He was actually working, he was actually one of the pioneers of AI. So basically, what was there, that we were unable to retain our employees, but we built this hierarchy that even in the lowest budgets that we are like running this company, we will hire an employee. Once that employee is about to go, he or she will tell us like a month or two before that I am looking for other avenues, or this is where I am going again. Most of them actually got admissions abroad because they were pursuing their PhDs. So basically, what we did, we hired another resource, that bigger resource trained that, and then we took consultancy from our partner lab. So basically, that actually kept us on track, and the algorithms were built according to the standards. And one of our algorithms partnered with them. We couldn't have done it alone. Basically, it was partnered with them. The employees sat over there. They worked with their team because they had a team of 10 people that were actually working in AI field. So basically, what they did, they worked together and they won a challenge. Like they stood second in that challenge together. And that wouldn't have been done if we were working in house. So for startups, I'm talking about the startups that have a very specific niche market and that have very low budget, but they are not willing to raise around and keep their budgets low. So this is how they can proceed.
Okay, so I think this is a very interesting one because I think what kind of talent is required by like is needed for AI startups. Like it's a very broad question. Obviously, it depends on startup to startup. But I think every AI startup needs certain like at early stage at least they need certain skill set, which is like when you're creating an AI, it really depends on what problem you're trying to solve, because some problems are can be solved by building on top of existing frameworks, existing AI models that are out there. You always try to improve those models by sometime you use better and bigger data and you train those models. So the AI talent that we're looking for, they should be able to understand those models very deeply, and they should have hands-on experience. And you don't always get that experience. You sometimes have to train those engineers who are just coming out of their graduation. You have to give them sort of training for 3 to 6 months, or maybe sometime 1 year. It's very important that they understand what they're working on. And then there are some companies, startups that are doing innovative work, and that's where I think the in-depth knowledge of the mathematics that is going behind those AI technologies, AI models is very, very important, because now you are supposed to create something that is not out there. So for that, you really need to be you need to understand the theory, what's happening, what is the mathematics going on, and at the same time you need to be very well familiar with the AI frameworks that are there are many out there, but you should be able to grasp a good understanding of at least one of those. It really depends on the startup what they're using. And then I think in terms of, so these are your knowledge of AI, machine learning, theory, mathematics, and different methodologies that are being used. But at the same time, I think the programming language is very important, because what I have realized is a lot of fresh engineers, even 5 years, 7 years, 10 years of experience, they who are working somewhere in AI or software engineering. I think they are very good at training models, doing AI, but at the same time, sometimes they lack the problem solving skills, like how to write a good code, how to solve a problem. And I think that is very, very important. That point is missed by a lot of candidates that I interview. Like if you take an AI interview, they will do a really amazing job. But if you talk about the fundamentals, problem solving, data structures, algorithm, so they are not putting that much focus. So I think it's very important to create this balance. Everyone should have these expertise, I believe. And then how startups can attract talent, I think it really depends on the startup. It's startup's job to make sure that you are advertising your work properly, and at the same time you are making gradual progress, because if the startup is scaling, if you are able to create impact, and if you are able to showcase your work, so a lot of people would like to join your startup, and it's all about success. I think there should be a success story. Your work should motivate those individuals, and you should be open about it. You should, I think, go to these institutions before they graduate, and you should also involve those students into different programs. We do a lot of FIP projects with the students. We also give them assignments. We also try to help them if they want to visit us. So I think it's the academic and industrial collaboration. I think that's the best way to attract the right investor.
And I couldn't agree more, especially on the problem solving and the programming. I think they're very, very important skills. Usman, would you like to add something to that?
Yeah, the whole paradigm of AI is very broad, and they're not like very specific skills that can be told to the institutions outside that they can learn and right away go to the companies and start building great products. But one part of it is theoretical, in which they have to first learn the fundamentals of mathematics, like linear algebra, calculus, those basic fundamentals. Then it goes towards learning the programming paradigm, in which you are actually building the AI system using frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch, these type of things. Later on, to stay updated with state-of-the-art techniques coming every day, and in AI paradigm, and as it is evolving, they need to place some sort of learning sessions in which they read some sort of R&D papers on intermittent basis. And with those things, it's incredibly hard for startups to find all of these things in single person. So you obviously have to make some trade-offs. Like we are facing these challenges building these companies from 3 years ago. At the very beginning, the AI was quite new in the very time when we were starting. So we had placed training programs in house that take people with some skills. Maybe some people are good in technical skills, in engineering skills, and they lag behind in research and theoretical skills. So we attach them to those leads that are good in those research areas or who have PhD or postdoc type backgrounds and try to overcome those skill gaps. And basically, you have to place this training system in house if you're trying to evolve and trying to scale rapidly, then you cannot rely quite a lot on outer systems. You have to place very rigorous training programs in house, I think. Then, what type of skills where universities can play a role in. I think they can make some universities are obviously starting programs in AI specifically designed for AI. So we had a collaboration back and fast in regulating their course content for the full bachelor's degree program. So in that industry and academia collaboration is providing a roadmap to place better content and to have courses that are very aligned to industrial development of AI. So I guess these would be some important things to work on to evolve the ecosystem of AI very rapidly in the future.
Thank you, and especially the in-house training aspect. I think that is very, very important if you want to scale and retain your talent while you scale. So, talking about that, I think the next question would be, how do you think startups can leverage AI technology to improve customer experiences and enhance their products or services? Umar, we'll start with you.
They can definitely start with personalization part, where they can introduce personalization aspect towards the customer, so that customer can be that yes, this is the right product that I want. Moreover, they should be including chatbots, like conversational AI, in their products, so that customers can navigate the system better without manual help or without calling the person at a specific product startup. So yeah, these are some of the areas that AI can leverage.
I must say behavioral analysis is one thing. So basically, right now we are dealing with the radiologists and doctors. So basically, they are these people who are working very hard in their daily life, and then there is a pattern that is generally followed that they feel and face a lot of burnout. So basically, what we do is that rather than just giving them a product and demanding them to test it out, deploy it, and to accept it as it is, what we do is that we gather their feedback and what are their actual endpoints and how we can improve and work on